was in California. I have an acting agent out there, and they told me that Fast and the Furious was casting the role of Suki. I was, of course, very interested in trying out for it. I went and I met with John, and then here I am.
And the cool thing about Devon, you know, being like 20 years old, you know, you look at her in the film and you believe like she's a street racer. You know, I was really like hard on her in terms of like, you know, hey, you know, you're the only chick that's gonna be racing, so you know, you really got to hold it down.
It was so much fun though. It was almost like being in an arcade and being able to sort of do anything you wanted to do with a car. I guess I really learned about the car culture through the first Fast and the Furious. I love John. He is so giving to his actors, and he's a great teacher. I can't imagine what it's going to be like if I ever have to do anything without him. I wouldn't ever want to. We rehearsed a couple days before. We had Paul and Tyrese talking to each other about their past and what happened and what brought them to the place that they are now in their relationship. And he did all this background stuff. With me, he did something where in my first scene, I have a little bit of not a problem with OJ, but I definitely have a bone to pick with him because he says something to me that I don't like.
So we don't have to roll with skirt here.
Idiota. And in the rehearsal, he had us do a skit where he comes up to me and he tries to pick me up, and I'm not interested in getting picked up, and I really don't want anything to do with him unless it has something to do with me helping him with his car. I was like, oh, these guys, they're movie stars, they're probably gonna have an attitude, I'm really not gonna even, you know, wanna have anything to do with them on any level. It was the opposite of that. And they're all so unique, and they're so sort of like effervescent and full of energy and full of life. They're like young boys discovering life, and they're excited about everything, and everything to them is new and different, and it's great, and it's so good to be around that energy. It's incredible, and being by the beach and being near water and around boats and jet skis and all this cool stuff, it's like so exciting. It is a pink Barbie car, but don't let the paint job fool you because it's a very powerful car.
This is a Honda S2000. They're about $35,000 off the showroom floor, maybe a tad more. 240 horsepower, supercharged. This particular car is the hero car, so it's supercharged, and we actually bought it from a private owner. We're going through and modifying it for the movie. So we got a Veilside body kit we put on it. Roja wheels from American Racing. We got some Apex gauges. We did a Rockford Fosgate sound system, so everything will work in this particular car. A Reactive exhaust. It came with a Paxton Novi supercharger on the car. And again, all the Veilside componentry we put on the car. And then after that, it's turned over to the art department. They do the graphics on the car. And then pick the paint colors. It's all up to the art department after that.
They told me it's supposed to be me on the side of the door, and it's sort of like a Japanese animation character.
There's a whole artistic process that goes into the graphic selection of the vehicles. Each one of the vehicles, of course, is assigned to a particular character. So the art department, the script people, and the production team come together and they decide what really suits that character. This particular car, for example, is going to belong to a female in the movie. So some of the styling influences like Japanese anime characters were carried over into the car. And the color selection and the graphic selection, and right down to the accessories we'll select for the movie.
The interior is pink. It's a very unique car, and it suits Suki's character to the T. People always look at the color pink as being sort of like a, you know, it's like a sissy color, it's very girly. But in this case, it's really the opposite of that because she can really drive. So this is sort of like a statement. It's sort of like an in-your-face, yeah, I drive a pink car, but I can definitely beat your ass if it comes to driving.
The differences between these cars and the cars you're seeing on the street is there's a great deal of deference to the artistic flair of the art department, what the director envisions. You've got to make the cars very flashy so that even the average enthusiast or the average audience member can really grasp what they're seeing on the film, that these cars are not your average street cars.
These turns are tight and they're kind of long. You're going to find that in the middle you're going to have to wait a while, and you'll be looking and you wait, and then when you start to see it straightening out, Start adding gas, start straightening the wheel, and that all happens real smoothly. Real smoothly. The smoother you are, the better you are.
Devon, you think you're ready for that?
Do I want to change gears going around the corner?
No.
She never drove anything in her whole life, zero. And so she had to start from scratch and learn to drive a stick shift and actually take it around the corners pretty fast.
When I got here, I didn't have a license. I had never actually driven before. I had driven a golf cart around, of course, but that was the extent of my driving experience. So
She had to learn how to drive, period, and then she had to learn how to drive stunt to make it seem as though she's a professional driver in the picture.
it was crazy because when I got here, they're like, "So you know how to drive? This will be easy." And I was like, well, not really.
You can change gears in the corner if you're street driving, but if you were doing some high-speed driving, you never want to do that. You always want to have your gear change done prior to the corner.
2 days ago, Suki never drove a car in her life. We now have her driving and shifting gears in a supercharged Mustang Celine. It's quite an accomplishment.
Did I ever get a little busy? Just a little. That was great, though.
You know, you look at her in the film, like, you believe like she's a street racer. You know, as pretty and cute as she is, it's phenomenal to see her face. You know, she's just like, you know, she's going for hers. You know, she's hanging with the dudes.
Yes!